Hello, welcome to Cushty TV, the straight talking YouTube channel. I have got a special treat for you today. I've got a 3-part series, yes, on one of London's best, hardest, toughest ever fighters. And during those series, I'm going to focus on one of London's best, bloodiest fights ever witnessed. And I'm also going to focus on a fight where this character was beaten so badly, a doctor said he very nearly died. And furthermore, I'm going to focus on his beef that he had with a Bartley Gorman opponent, Henry Francis. Yes, so sit back and allow me to bring into focus, of course, it is Mr. Jimmy Stockings, the author of On the Cobbles, that wonderful True Warriors book. So in part one of this 3-part series, I'm going to focus mostly on London's best ever, bloodiest fight. Yes, before I do so, let's bring in Jimmy Stockings. Some of you guys might know him from his book, On the Cobbles, but for those of you who don't, let's bring him into focus a little bit more for you at home. Yes, and born in 1958, St Helier Hospital, southwest of London, to parents James and Elizabeth, better known as Muggy and Bet. He was one of 6. Yes, he was the third oldest of 6. He had 4 sisters, 1 brother. He was there determined in life he had to be, because from very day one it would be a struggle. He was born with his feet back to front displaced, and it would take him 4 years before he could take his first step. Yeah, and he actually said that he always knew he was either going to be some boxer or some type of hard man. Even from a little boy, he knew it. It was in his blood, because he had 3 legendary fighters, and none of his uncles. Jack Daly, real name Aaron Smith. Dido Stockings, real name William Smith. Chippy Sullivan, real name Walter Smith. These 3 men were legendary warriors. So it was right there in his bloodline, along with many, many other tough fighting men. Yeah, so he started at his first fight in East London with another fellow gypsy called Mooker Mitchell. He remembers that, as he calls it. And Mooker was giving as good as he was getting, but the punches he was landing on Jimmy were making no effect. And Jimmy continued laughing, whilst Mooker would just get angry and angry and angrier, trying to hurt Jimmy. So it was quite evident that he was a tough, tough man. He went up through his teenage years fighting other travelling lads, and he actually got a boxing medical card at the age of 13. He boxed for a club in West London called Ruislip, yeah? It was his predominant boxing club. And he went on the amateur boxing scene until he was about 19. And he had around some 150 fights. It sounds a huge amount of fights. Well, it is a huge amount of fights, isn't it? But what had happened, his dad got 2 medical cards. They exchanged clubs somewhere along the line. He got 2 medical cards. His dad was taking him off, getting him matched up, and getting cornermen that they knew just to corner him. So he was either fighting officially with his club, fighting officially again, but with other cornermen. So he had 2 medical cards. Tough, hard man. Touched the senior division. Only ever stopped 1 in those 150 contests. Very, very hard man there as well. Yeah, but during that journey, his dad had whacked a trainer, put a right hander on the trainer over a dispute with his brother, Wally, who turned out to be a leading amateur and professional boxer. We'll come to that in a minute. So that put the brake up on any ambitions of turning professional, which he wanted to. He wanted to turn professional, but that stopped all that, and then he just went into the knuckle fighting. When I say went into it, it just started. That was the trend he took. He clearly loved the fight. He made no bones about it, actually. He absolutely loved it always from a boy. And yeah, he come up against some legendary fighters. He fought Kenny Sainz, Adam Reed, Billy Earn, Henry Francis, Johnny Love, all of these people, top fighting men with massive reputations, along with tons of other people that he thought they were really good fighters as well. But yeah, so that's a bit about Jimmy. Now, it takes 2, this bloodiest fight ever seen in London, it takes 2 people to make a fight. And just to touch on, before we come on to these other character in this fight, Tom Creamy Eastwood, just to go on to Jimmy's training, his brother was a professional boxer. They both loved boxing and fighting so much. They used to put the gloves on. I'd actually witnessed the spars as a little boy. They would just draw blood from each other. They would fight 30, 40, 50 minutes easily, no rest, all the time. So there was a natural fitness there for Jimmy and stamina, because seriously, to spar for an hour, 50 minutes, 45 minutes, non-stop with his brother was just commonplace 3-4 days a week, along with their road running. So there's a natural built-in engine there for Jimmy. Let's bring into Tom Creamy Eastwood, better known, real name Tom Eastwood, better known as Creamy Eastwood. Also from a fighting family. His grandfather and great-grandfather respectively, old Tom Bradley and Joe Bradley. Nicknames, Eastwood, that's where you have to, can't explain it too much. A lot of travellers have nicknames and they adapt names, but Bradley was the nickname. So from the Eastwood family, grandfather, great-grandfather, very, very tough man respectively. Started training in a club in Surrey, Creamy Eastwood, the Foley Club, very good club. Frank once a club to Frank Bruno. Had his first gym fight at 15. He's not usually young when he started. Then he went on the heavyweight division at 17-year-old. He was running around Houghton class. Had about 50-60 amateur fights. Turned professional, become unbeaten as a professional, three fights unbeaten. Sparred with legendary Joe Bugner. For you young viewers out there, Joe Bugner was the only fighter ever to go the distance with the greatest, Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazer. Very good fight. I would have been a world champion of the day if there are other versions, no doubt. Gary Mason. Sparred with Gary Mason and actually knocked Gary Mason down. To give you some idea of what Gary Mason is, Lennox Lewis, the great brilliant Lennox Lewis, undisputed, out all the belts Lewis, yeah. Boxed Gary Mason over 9 rounds. I think it was the British and European title, and he was the only man to beat Gary Mason. I think Gary had about 35 pro fights, won them all except a 9th round stoppage. It was a very competitive fight. Lennox Lewis couldn't knock Mason down, but Tom Creamy Eastwood whacked him with a punch, knocked him down. So this is how fierce this man's punch was, you know. So now let's go to the fight. In 1981, a family dispute happens on Epsom Trade Gypsy site. And anyway, it's led to the top 2 boys to sort it out. That's the way it works. The girls are having a bit of this, that and the other. So the boys are put on the throne. They go into the gladiatorial arena, which was Lonesome Gypsy site on this occasion, spring 1981. And it was such a big fight, they needed 2 fair play men. Now 2 fair play men would be a legendary fighter who got shot dead, Mark the Ripper Ripley, and Kenny Signs, one of Jim's once opponents. Yeah, big fight. So the scene was set. Creamy Eastwood made his way there with family. Jimmy Stockings made his way to the fight with the legendary fighting man Les Stevens. He was in a brand new Range Rover. In the front seat was Stockings, but all such comforts were about to disappear. So it was action time. There was none of this ding ding bell bell. It was like, you ready lads, you stand back, we see fair play, let's go. And the way they went. Now we see Tom Creamy Eastwood, 6'2", and Jimmy stands around a 6 foot. In the heavyweight division, I say that Jimmy would have developed in a professional win around the light heavyweight division. Yeah, Stockings aged, I think 22, Eastwood aged 19. So 22, 19 respectively. A little bit more age and strength to Stockings. Weight tips this way with Eastwood, quite a bit bigger man. Jimmy's not a small man, but Eastwood's a big man, yeah, big strong heavyweight boxer. And yeah, and I think technically Stockings was a 2-handed forward fighter. Eastwood was a beautiful boxer that slipped off the beautiful left hook that you ping out the left hand, and his power shot wasn't his backhand, was his left hook. That was the one that knocked Gary Mason to the floor, and many other people. So out they go in the set. Yes, spring, nice day, 1981, southwest London. Boom, boom. Eastwood sticking it into Stockings' boat. Boom, into his boat. Quickly cut on the bridge of his nose. Bang, bang. And it seems like Stockings has eaten his jab, yeah? And it becomes apparent just after sort of 90 seconds or so. Eastwood's landing with almost everything he throws, and Stockings is swinging and missing wildly, trying to walk forward. High hands. Stockings doesn't walk forward recklessly, but he high hand, trying to have head movement. Bang! And he keeps walking into the jab of Tom Creamy. He's boom, boom, boom. Yeah, and he can't seem to slip it. He's trying. Of course he's throwing left hooks, he's missing. Right hands, right uppercuts, right hands over the top. He's throwing all this stuff, and he keeps going. So after about 2 or 3 minutes, cut across the bridge of his nose, one over his eye, already bleeding, without any success, Stockings. Eastwood's having it all. So he tries another tactic. He says, come on, Eastwood. Come on, fucking load another one of them up. Come on, suck it to me, come on. Boom. So Eastwood says, yeah, I've got plenty of more of that for you, Stockings. Here it comes. Boom, boom, and it keeps going. And this pattern emerges and emerges and emerges, and Stockings just trying the same stuff now. Come on. Every punch that lands, yeah, Stockings is calling on Eastwood. Come on, I love it. Suck it to me, baby. Come on, you can do better than that. You can punch harder than that, Eastwood. Much harder than that. Come on. Yeah, I can, Stockings. So now Eastwood's intensifying. Boom, boom, coming out with the left hand. Just can't miss the opponent. Just can't miss the opponent. Continues, continues, continues. There's now blood over both eyes. In the mouth of Stockings. Massive, massive amount of blood in his mouth. Bridge of the nose. Both eyes. It can't get much worse now, can it? Come on, Eastwood, you fucking sucker me. Come on, you can punch harder than that. Come on, Eastwood, you can punch harder than that. Boom, boom. And it just continues. The pattern is trying desperately. Two hands up, moving, trying to move offline, throwing right hands, but this beautiful, silky boxer, powerful left hand, boom. Tom Creamy Eastwood just keeps on pushing the left hand into, well, it's a bit more than a push, it's a snappy bang. It's a wicked punch. Yeah, and there's a crowd, the crowd just cannot believe what Stockings is enduring and still calling on Eastwood. It's like something out of a Rocky movie. They just cannot they just cannot believe what they're seeing. They're wincing, they're actually feeling pain for this man, but he just calls on. He just calls on all the time, Eastwood. And as it can't get much worse, Stockings said he just wanted a cauliflower ear one day, just like his Uncle Jack Daly, yeah? And just as it looked as though it wasn't going to get much worse, Stockings come in, bam, with a big right hand that just fell short. Eastwood just reared back and whipped the left hook round the corner and actually bent over in a sickening type of scene. Stockings' hair went into one piece, it twisted as he hit it, and it went into a purple, almost instantaneously purple type of black. But people could feel the pain through his poor ear, yeah, and he nearly got his cauliflower ear instantly. And anyway, so he was now two eyes, mouth, bridge of the nose. He's in some terrible trouble, but still we do not know how to quit. In fact, it's not even in his vocabulary, it's not on his radar. He's just intent on getting his opponent eventually. Come on, Eastwood, you can do better than that. Come on. And the 25-30 minutes has passed and the pattern's the same. He's still determined, he's still coming forward, he's taking it all, he's eating all the punches. Then suddenly he throws his right hand, he don't go to the head. Yeah, this determined man, yeah, the other one with the IQ, he just stops his attack to the head and throws a massive right hand to the body. It's Eastwood under the ribs. And the whole crowd groans. Eastwood, massive punch. And the fight continues. And Eastwood comes in again. Stockings, come on. You can hit harder than this. And it just goes in again. And just without any warning, Stockings is calling him on again. They go to meet. And Eastwood outstretches his hand to bring the best, bloodiest fight ever seen in London. This just wasn't a slog, this was a fast, furious tear up. And he put his hand out, and to Stockings' relief, he says, I will give you best. And he was witness, Eastwood's hands were swollen double the size. With the pain that he inflicted, his hands were in bad trouble. From Stockings' face. Stockings' face was a complete bloody mess. And his poor ear was turned around, almost curled around into a black, bruised, beaten heap. Yeah, and that brought the fight to an end, and immediately shook hands and said, we'll see you later, we'll have a beer. And the funny thing was that Stockings went with Creamy's family in the back of an old van. He says to Les Stevens, thanks for taking me, and I can make my own way back from here. And I think it was to Les Stevens' relief, because the blood in that new Range Rover wouldn't have been very nice, would it? And he just makes his way with Eastwood's family, and that to me is a lovely side of the fight. He goes with his uncles, straight to the pub with Eastwood's family, and later on with Eastwood, and they become mates, and that was it. And Creamy Eastwood is my first cousin and Jimmy's my second cousin, and me and Creamy had the same gran, and my gran told me the story. He said Creamy come back a few days after, he said, "Gran, that man's a nutcase." He said the only way to beat him, he said, you'd have to kill him. So I hope you've enjoyed part 1 of the Jimmy Stockings special. Please look out for part 2, and we got some more stories. So in the meantime, thanks for tuning in.